Yes. Yes. Awesome.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Ahavat Shalom. Great to have you here with us. Special welcome, Ruchim Habaim, to those of you watching the live stream from wherever you are. I'm Rabbi Matt Berger, joined on the Bima with our cantorial soloist, Allison Rosoff, down at the piano, Joy Katzen-Guthrie. We're going to have a great Shabbat service this evening, and as always, we'll begin in song. If you turn to page 14 in Mishkan Tefillah, Dwelling Place of Prayer, you'll find the words in the last paragraph on the page to Or Zarua Lat Tzaddik, Psalm 97, Light is shown for the righteous. Or Zarua Lat Tzaddiku Ish Relev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzaddiku Ish Relev Simcha. Tzadikim Adonai, Adonai, Bechodu Lezecher Kocho, Zecher Kocho. Or Zarua Lat Tzaddiku Ish Relev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzaddiku Ish Relev Simcha. While we sing Light These Lights, if there are any ladies who'd like to come forward, join us on the Bima to help light these Shabbat candles and read the blessing, feel free to come forward.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us
see the way
to you.
and let us say Amen.
Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, Sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So while those gather here, let's say Yasher Koach, well done. Thank you so much for leading us in prayer. You'll find a special prayer for the month of Elul. That's the final month of the Jewish calendar year. This and a few other readings taken from one of the prayer books in the Mishkan, or dwelling place of theory. This one, Mishkan Halev, dwelling place of the heart. And feel free to join me. It's called Elul, an island in the year. Before we sweep too quickly into the season of the soul, let there be a Sabbath of Sabbaths for the heart. Before the music of creation's majesty, let there be a silent praise of existence. Before the feast of sanctified words, let there be a poetry of solitude. Before we enter the palaces of prayer, let us find within ourselves a place of calm. Before we revel in the wondrous and sublime, let there be an honest inward gaze. Before the rites and ceremonies of awe, let there be quieter days, an island of attentiveness. Turning our thoughts to the land and state of Israel, you can feel free to join me in the prayer on the screen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. May you bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces and all who stand guard to protect our people. Shield them from all troubles and injury. Help them secure freedom without loss of life for all those held captive by the enemy. May they have strength and courage of hearts. This week we will sing the traditional Shabbos table song, Shalom Aleichem, peace be to you, messengers of the Most High. The text is on 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On 26, words of praise, the Chatzi or half Kaddish.
Yitgadol v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah B'yamad yivrach Yudhei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael Bagala uv'izman kariv V'imaru amen Yishmei Rabba mevarach Le'olam olam me'amaya Yitbarach Yibarach V'yishtabach V'yipa'ar V'yitroman V'yitnasei V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shemei dekudesha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiram be'ama V'imaru amen.
Let's rise now for the next part of our service, Shema and its blessings, beginning with the call to prayer. Find the English for Mariv Aravim prayer for the evening on the screen. Please join me. Holy is twilight, the realm of in-between. And so our sages taught, pray in the moments when light and darkness touch. We are all twilight people beyond categories and labels. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, widen our vision. Let us illumine our way to the God who transcends all boundaries and definitions. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Our words of love, Ahavat Olam, are found on 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Amo Israel. Sing, open up our eyes. Open up our eyes,
teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live,
Teach us how to live.
fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Feel free to be seated. We'll now continue with the words of Yehavta, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shittecha b'beitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'pkumecha u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'aretz Mitzrayim v'ot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. A reading before Mi Chamocha that you'll be able to find on the screen. Eternal watch over my small domain of light and shadow, those few people who share my love and all the others upon this earth, that sometimes shakes with thunder and reverberates with lightning. May we all walk through the wilderness to your realm of peace, where all men and women are one, and sing your blessed name. We'll be singing Debbie Friedman's arrangement of Mi Chamocha, Who is Like You. The text is found on 40. Dava Kodesh, Torah Tehilo, Ose Felen, Torah Tehilo, Ose Felen. Malachut Kara Uvanecha, Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zehi Anu Ve'amru, Zehi Anu Ve'amru, Adonai Lo Le'olam Ba'ed, Adonai Lo Le'olam Ba'ed. Hamoka Ba'elim Adonai, Hamoka Nedava Kodesh, Torah Tehilot, Ose Felen, Torah Tehilot, Ose Felen. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We'll continue on 42 words of shelter and protection, the Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Uvros aleinu sukat shlomecha, uvros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us between thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Let's rise now for the next section of our service, the standing prayers called the Tefillah, beginning on 46.
Adonai sivatai tiftach ufi agir tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasrei Avot v'imahot, U'mevii geula livnei vneihem, L'ma'an shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol, Ata rav lo'oshia, Morid hatal, Mechachel chayim. מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Feel free to be seated. We'll continue with blessings 4 through 7 of the tefillah. First, blessing for the holiness of Shabbat on 55. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha-Shabbat, a prayer avodah, asking that God's presence always remains with us. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato litzion. And words of gratitude or thanksgiving you'll find on 59. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lechodot. And Birkat Shalom, our prayer of peace, is on 60. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever. You are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So 'tis the season in the month of Elul, all 29 days of it, to read Psalm 27 or portions thereof and sound the shofar as kind of a spiritual wake-up call and alarm clock. For this Sunday school, the word of the day, last week's was kavod, which is honor, and this week's is shofar, which is actually from the Hebrew word which means good. Because our behavior is supposed to be good after listening to the shofar. A shofar has to be good, meaning kosher, and it's supposed to sound good as well. You can be the judge of that. But first, let's read Psalm 27. God is my light and my refuge secure. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Of whom should I be afraid? Just one thing I've asked of God, only this do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to divine sweetness and beauty, and gaze in delight at God's temple.
Tekiah.
That worked out. It's a finicky little instrument. For those of you who ever played brass instrument, once upon a time I played trumpet for a few years before getting braces, and that was the end of that. Brass instruments have mouthpieces, which, you pretty much know what you're going to get every time, but depending on how you hold the shofar and which shofar you're holding, you never really know how it's going to sound, even for the most mature and seasoned blowers of the shofar. On 62, you'll find a prayer of peace, Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Ko Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol
Israel.
We'll now turn to a prayer of healing. Misha Berak, God the one who blesses those in need. You'll find the prayer on the screen as well as on 253. As we call to mind and to heart all those that continue to be injured or hurt due to the ongoing war in Gaza, as well as in Ukraine. And to these names, we add the following individuals in our community: Cesar Alvarez, Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Ruven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Tina Bruns, Kate Fagan, Harry Fleisch, Ron Frankel, Mitchell Freifeld, David Friedlander, Don Hersman, Jim Howard, Kathy Howard, Phyllis King, Jerry Longerich, Jonathan Marks, Tova Marks, Ken Mercero, Michael Ranzino, Stephanie Ross, Dennis Schulman, Angie Sermenis, Jeff Stark, David Vogel, and Denise Young. Are there any other names to add?
My father, George Stark, Wayne Stark. Misheberach Avotenu Mikol habracha Imoltenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mikol habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Chaim Yankel, the biggest man in Chelm, went to see his doctor for an annual checkup. Dr. Exbein did a full workup. He asked Chaim about his diet, did some mobility and flexibility tests, listened to his heart, and took his pulse. By the end of the exam, the doctor was shaking his head. He said, "Chaim, look, it's clear to me that you need to lose weight really quickly. In my opinion, the best way to do this would be to run 7 miles a day." Chaim was incredulous. 7 miles a day? No way. I get winded going to the mailbox, let alone shul for services. Dr. Epstein replied, "Look, I'm telling you, Chaim, you're heading for trouble if you don't make some big changes." Hearing this, Chaim decided to take his doctor's advice at once. Though it was quite challenging, the exercise program seemed to be working. After only 40 days of jogging, he had lost over 30 pounds. Thrilled with the results, Chaim called Dr. Epstein and thanked him for his excellent advice. The doctor was quite pleased. At the end of the conversation, Chaim said, "Doctor, I just have one question. How do I get back to the village now that I'm 280 miles away from home?" Chelm. There's not another town like it. Most people who live there thought they knew everything, but of course, they didn't. Once, a citizen of Chelm asked the rabbi, "What's more important, the sun or the moon?" The rabbi replied, "Such a silly question. The moon, of course. It shines at night when we really need it. But who needs the sun to shine when it's already broad daylight?" How's that for some Chelm logic? So how did the people of Chelm get like this? Well, evidently an angel spilled a bag of foolish souls all over it. Perhaps it looks something like that black and white image. Some people say a jar of fools, some people say a bag of fools. That's on the screen. Now, you might be wondering, how did Dr. Epstein get so wise? Well, as it turns out, he was only doing his residency in Chelm, but he was born, raised, and practiced medicine, studied medicine in Warsaw. Now, thankfully, Chaim Yankel was able to change for the better after hearing the doctor's report. But as we know, it's not easy to change, especially in the beginning. Many of us have heard the proverbial wisdom, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but as a congregant reminds me, usually about once a year, you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. You just have to give it some incentive and treats, which dispels the long-held idea that getting older automatically leads to declines in our mental function. As it turns out, mental abilities can actually improve for many people as they age, especially if we practice brain skills throughout our lives, like doing crosswords or games like Wordle. They keep our minds sharp and they're fun to boot. As we approach the high holidays and the Jewish year 5785, we're asked as Jews and together as a people to look inward, turn towards God, and strive to do better, especially during these 29 days leading up to the head of the new year. But it's a tall, tall order, because just as our body craves homeostasis, which keeps all of our systems inside running steadily, our brain actively seeks this too. Change takes time, takes effort, and it takes an open heart, whether we're trying to learn a new hobby or a skill, or if we're trying to be a better spouse or partner, friend or colleague. Our tradition, though, takes this into account. It's actually why certain communities way, way back in the day, in the analog world, sent what were called beadles, not the music group, but officers in the synagogues, to go around town during the month of Elul, calling out, "Shuvu, Return, O backsliding children. It's a quote from Jeremiah. Could you imagine if we did this today? Way over the top. That being said, the Jewish calendar and its accompanying rituals teach us about the importance of preparation, which is a prerequisite for change. Before Passover, many of us scrub and deep clean our kitchen to get rid of any physical chametz, bread products, or in a spiritual sense, getting rid of negative traits or behaviors. Before Shavuot, later on, which commemorates the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai, we count the Omer for 49 days, a liturgical practice that reminds us of how the Israelite ancestors once brought sheaves of barley to the temple in Jerusalem. Spiritually, it's a time for self-improvement and introspection. In a similar way, Elul prepares us for the High Holy Day season. It's like an on-ramp to a highway. Or to put it another way, as I shared on Thursday's message, we might ask in jest, how many therapists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to really want to change. Spiritual preparation helps to lay the groundwork for personal growth. In the late 1800s, a rabbi named Israel Salanter, he helped found the Musar movement, which was about Jewish ethics and personal growth. He reflected, when I was younger, I wanted to change the whole world. But I found it difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my town. When I discovered that it was hard to change my town, I tried to change my family. But now that I'm older, I realize that the only thing I need to change is myself. And it dawns on me that if I changed myself long ago, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I together could have made an impact on our town, and together we could have changed the world. The whole point of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is to emerge different in some way, shape, or form. Now, realistically, very few of us are going to change our character, but we can change how we behave in little ways that still have an impact. It might be something as simple as giving way to another car at a traffic light or intersection, or smiling at your spouse or partner before you leave home, or taking on a Jewish ritual, maybe Havdalah, which marks the end of Shabbat, with sweetness, joy, and light. One of the most beautiful stories about change is found in the book of Genesis. 13 chapters that are devoted to the story of Joseph, the famous dreamer. It's the longest unbroken narrative in the Torah. I'll ask our tech team to put an image of him on the screen. This is probably when he was maybe a little bit younger. Now, in the beginning, it was hard to like Joseph. He pranced around in that colorful coat of many colors, reminding his brothers how much his dad, Jacob, liked him best. Not the best parenting strategy, to be sure. But it was inevitable that his brothers would be envious and ultimately jealous in this environment. After throwing the brother in a pit, he was taken as a slave to Egypt. While serving in his new master's house, he was framed for something he didn't do and sent to the dungeon, only to emerge as second to Pharaoh after interpreting his two unique dreams. After many years, Joseph's brothers traveled from Israel down to Egypt during the famine. Joseph gave them food, but planted a goblet in Benjamin's satchel to see if the brothers had changed at all. After being arrested and sent back to the palace, Judah, the eldest, and his brothers were brought before Pharaoh. At this point, they didn't even know he was living. In a moving speech, Judah appealed to Joseph's sense of empathy, mentioning their dad, Jacob, 14 times. After hearing this, Joseph was moved to tears. He cleared the hall and revealed himself, saying, Ani Yosef, I am Joseph. The brothers were, of course, stunned, all the more so when Joseph said that this was all part of God's plan, to save the lives of his family during the famine, as well as many others. In doing so, he absolved his brothers for what they did long ago. The story teaches us that everyone can change. Joseph changed, and his brothers changed. Sometimes the changes that we make are momentous, like Judah, who matured in the ensuing years. Other times, the changes that we make are smaller and incremental. But even the tiniest of changes can make a difference. As the high holiday season draws near, I invite each of you to give yourself the permission to change. Because as we've learned, you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue now with the words of Aleinu, the adoration. You'll find the words of this prayer on 282. If there are any guys, any gentlemen here who'd like to help open the ark, this is your time to come forward. And I'll ask all of us to rise for this special prayer.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות הרמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני נלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Feel free to be seated. To the guys, we say Yasher Koach, well done, and thank you so much. You'll find the words to the Mourner's Kaddish, Kadisha Tome, on page 294. In the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days mourning a loved one, we think of families in Israel and the Ukraine who are mourning the loss of loved ones during these wars. We also think of the following individuals in our community: Ina Singer, mother of Madeline Greenberg. We note the recent death of Norman Fiddleman, nephew of Richard Fiddleman, and the Israeli hostages that were killed just a couple weeks ago: Hirsch Goldberg Poland, Carmel Gott, Alexander Lobanov, Elmog Sarusi, Eden Yerushalmi, and Ori Danino. We also mark the Artsite anniversary of passing of the loved ones. On the Shabbat, we fondly remember Gloria Aronoff, Sylvia Brandeis, William B. Braun, Phyllis Cohen, Anita Cohen, Gertrude Cohen, Jeanette Diamond, Hank Epstein, Bernice Epstein, Gilbert Glenn, Bruce Goldstein, Louis Gorlick, King Healy, Paula Hickey, Helen Hildes, Mo Horowitz, Sharon Katz, Hyman Katz, Harold Lipschultz, Morris Milhouse, Matthew Benjamin Mollet, Pearl Pally, Rose Plevin, Gene Resnick, Hy Rothman, Kenneth Sandler, David Satinoff, Jerome Chagrin, Beverly Schreiber, Ruth Snell, Audrey Snyder, Howard Snyder, and Joseph Shremiello. Are there any other names to add? We say, Zichronam Livracham, may the memories of all of these good people continue to be a blessing in their family and loved ones' lives as we rise for the words of Kaddish praise together. Page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrah kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayekon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalah b'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam ulamei almayah, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah b'richu, la'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, and throughout the world as we say Amen.
V'imru, 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 amen. V'imru, 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 amen.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the words to Shabbat Kiddush on page 5 in your prayer books for the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ava u'pratzon, inhilanu, zikaro lema'aseh bereshit, kiyom tehillah, v'mikra'im kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kibanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidasha, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ava u'ratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Say l'chaim, to life. All right, we're back in the purple train. Last week it was a very interesting color. It was orange, and I was wondering, how can grape juice be orange? And I found out during the oneg, it was peach grape juice. I'd never even heard of that. But Kedem makes a product called peach grape juice, and I think we can thank Publix for that, because I think they gave us some of the leftovers. So that was peach grape juice. But now we're back to grape juice and wine, which you'll be able to enjoy in the Oneg following services. All right, any young adults, teens would like to come forward for the blessing over the challah? Yes.
Let the record show I teach kids the same age as okay.
Look at this crew.
Say that. Sorry, it's over.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Matevon, enjoy. Yasha Koach, well done. Okay, we're heading towards the high holidays, which means we have more things going on. Many thanks to Allison and Joy for helping me lead a great Shabbat service along with our tech team. Sophia and Bruce and our greeters, David, Phoebe, and Saul. Please help Gulf Coast JFCS provide nourishing, non-perishable food to local families in need. We'll be collecting these items through the end of September in the lobby. Brotherhood is extending the deadline for their Rosh Hashanah Graham cards to this upcoming Monday. RSVP for Sisterhood's membership brunch on Sunday, September 22nd at 9:30 a.m. Our Shabbat morning minyan is back, led by Ron Gilbert. Will take place next Saturday, September 21st at 9 a.m., followed by an oneg. On Monday, September 23rd at 6:30 p.m. here, in partnership with Jewish National Fund, we'll host the spokesperson for the Society for Preservation of Israel Heritage Sites. Rabbi Gary Klein will be leading services with Allison and Joy on Friday, September 27th at 7:30 p.m. The next evening, September 28th at 8 p.m., we'll have our Slichot service of forgiveness that will feature a short film and discussion, refreshments, and the prayers of forgiveness. In commemoration of the anniversary of October 7th, Gulf Coast Jewish Federation and the Pinellas County Board of Rabbis will host an evening of prayers, solidarity, music, and art on October 7th at 7 p.m. at Largo Central Park Performing Arts Center. Following the service, please join us for an oneg in the social hall. For our closing song, asking that God, our rock, will hear all of our prayers and meditations, the words of Yehiyu Leratzon. Yehiyu Leratzon, Imrefi, Ve'yo libi lefanecha. Yehiyu Leratzon, Imrefi, Ve'yo libi lefanecha. Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Begoali, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Begoali, Iyu Leraton, Imrefi, Imrefi, Yoli mi lefanecha, Iyu Leraton, Imrefi, Imrefi, Yoli mi lefanecha. Shabbat Shalom.